Hey there, podcast lovers. Looking for a fresh take on the world? Tune into Nikki's World, where we dive into everything hitting the headlines and chat about just what's on our minds. No filters, just real talk. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or unwinding after a long day, Nikki's World is your go-to for genuine commentary on the real world. Subscribe now if you want to hear the real deal on what's going on. Join the conversation on Nikki's World, where every episode feels like catching up with an old friend. Don't miss out.
What's up, y'all? Let's do this. Oh, hi guys. Welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host, and today we gotta talk about how the fuck is this allowed in this country? Because I got two articles that tell you how the fuck is this ever allowed in America, alright? But before we go any further, guys, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, seriously, can y'all please consider donating a cup of coffee for me? Because for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Cumberland Farms, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories, more topics like this to talk about. I do accept Bitcoin donations. I am on Ko-fi, guys. If you guys want to support, sponsor, donate, and tip to Nikki's World, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, please hit that like, subscribe, please give me a review. Good, bad, and the ugly. Also, guys, I do have a bunch of affiliate links. First off is Minds.com. Minds.com is a Connecticut based social media platform. They are an awesome alternative to Facebook. So if you guys value your right to freedom of speech like I do, guys, and you want to say stuff without fear of being blocked, suspended, or deplatformed, guys, well then head on over to my friends at minds.com. Also, guys, I do have an awesome affiliate link with Byrna.com. Byrna.com is the less lethal self defense company where they make their top of the line Byrna SD, Byrna LE, TCR, Mission 4, and their newest compact launcher, guys. So if you guys value your right to the Second Amendment, your right to self defense, but you want to do it in a less lethal manner, guys, well, then head on over to my friends at Byrna.com. Also, guys, I do have the most awesome affiliate link with North Shore Medical Supply. North Shore Medical Supply, they make their top of the line Mega Max diaper, their North Shore Supreme pull ups, and their Turner boosters, guys. If you know somebody out there who needs to wear adult diapers, who needs to be put in adult diapers like I do, guys, well then, head on over to my friends at North Shore Medical Supply, and they will make sure that they are diapered up and padded up like always. And guys, before we get this show on the road, literally, guys, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, seriously, y'all, seriously, can y'all please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today? Ooh, wee wow. Wee wow. That is a mouthful. And yeah, guys, that is a mouthful. And yes, guys, I am diapered up as always. I am padded up in my North Shore Megamax diapers with my Eterna boosters. And I'm in my t shirt as well because, hey, it's hot, humid, and I don't feel like sweating my balls off or whatever balls I have left, guys. But yeah, really. But anyway, let's get on with the show, shall we? And first of all, today's show, we gotta talk about, is this ever allowed? Because seriously, guys, I got two stories, I got a bunch of stories to talk about. Okay? This one from Fox News. Illegal immigrant caught working as a police officer in Maine while attempting to buy a firearm. ICE arrests Jamaican national who overstayed visa and secured a position with the Maine Police Department. And I'll read you the headline. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE officers arrested a Jamaican national for allegedly attempting to purchase a firearm illegally while employed as a reserve police officer in the Old Orchard Beach Police Department in Old Orchard, Maine. Now, my question is like this. How the fuck is this allowed? An illegal immigrant who overstayed their visa winds up getting hired as a police officer in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, tries to buy a firearm, triggers an ICE and ATF notification, gets arrested? Why aren't they arresting the police chief, the mayor, and the town council that allowed this shit in the fucking first place? Why? Why? And I'll read you the second paragraph of this article from Fox News. According to ICE's enforcement and removal operations in Boston, John Luke Evans was taken into custody with the assistance from the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives after his firearm purchase attempt raised concerns tied to his immigration status on July 25th in Biddeford, Maine. So apparently, this guy overstayed his visa, okay? Winds up getting hired as a reserve police officer in Maine, tries to buy a firearm, finds out he's an illegal immigrant? I, I'm sitting here in my diaper and t-shirt wondering what the fuck is going on in Maine. Maine is not that far from where I live in Connecticut, guys. Maine is just a 3-hour ride from where I live to the border. And I'm wondering, what the fuck is actually going on up there? Are these people crazier than the liberals and progressives here in Connecticut? Do we have some type of level of craziness that makes me wonder what the fuck is actually going on? Do we? I'll read you. I'll read you this article from the Maine Wire. ICE arrests Old Orchard police officer from Jamaica for overstaying visa. Okay, here's the article from the Maine Wire. An attempted firearms purchase led to the arrest of a Jamaican citizen who the town of Old Orchard Beach had hired as a police officer, Fox News reported on Monday afternoon. John Luke Evans entered the U.S. legally in September of 2023, but overstayed his visa. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement stated he was due to return to Jamaica on October 1st of that year, but never boarded the flight. And here's this other paragraph. The Maine Wire contacted the Old Orchard Police Department seeking information about where Evans was hired, the status of his employment, and what type of vetting the department employs in hiring process, but did not immediately respond. So what happened is a small town like Orchard Beach, Maine, okay? They don't have a big police department. They only hire like what, a certain number of people. I'm gonna say like what, 20 or 30 people as police officers, but then the rest are part-timers or what they call reserve police officers. But my question is, what's the vetting process in all this? Where is the vetting process? How the fuck did this police department in Maine, by the way, was allowed to hire an illegal immigrant to be a police officer and attempts to buy a gun? How the fuck is this allowed? How the fuck is this allowed? Is this the Democrats' idea of replacing Americans with illegal immigrants and allowing them to be police officers? Fuck. Fuck. We got bigger problems here in this country. Seriously. Seriously. Give you an example. Boston PD wants to hire Muslims on their police force. Well, I'll tell you how that's gonna go about. There'll be people who say like this, "Oh no, we can't trust Muslims to be police officers because we don't know if they're gonna hold allegiance to America or to their Muslim country." Tell you, man, this is the same thing up in Maine. Maine is what, one step crazier than Connecticut, where progressive Democrats who think that it's okay for men to compete in women's sports, but now in Maine, they think it's okay for illegal immigrants to be police officers in Maine? I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys, but this level of, like, how the fuck do they allow this makes me spit my drink out and go, are you fucking kidding me? Are you shitting me? And then also, and this is the interesting part about this from this article in the Maine Wire. In April, ICE detained a Cumberland County corrections officer for overstaying his visa. Gretchen Wambabi from the Democratic Republic of Congo had been working at the jail as a guard, but was in the U.S. illegally. So let me get this straight. Maine is all about illegal immigrants being in this country, but they can't do a simple background check to see who they're hiring. I'm telling you this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you this. There should be an audit on every police department, county jail, and corrections in this country. I would not be shocked to find out that progressive blue states are allowing illegal immigrants and DACA illegal immigrants to work as police officers or corrections officers. Would not be shocked. And I wouldn't be shocked out of my damn diaper that this is happening. But then the left keeps saying, oh no, it's not happening. Oh no, it's not happening. Oh, it's just an illusion. Oh, it's a right wing MAGA conspiracy. But you got articles like this from Fox News, from the Maine Wire, and then now from Breitbart, where I'll read you the headline. ICE, an illegal immigrant working as a police officer remained arrested after attempting to buy a firearm. Read you the paragraph of the article. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE officers arrested an illegal immigrant working as a police officer in Maine after he allegedly tried to unlawfully purchase a firearm, officials announced on Monday. So basically, Democrats think it's okay for illegal immigrants to be police officers or corrections officers or firefighters. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I'm like, I'm like shocked out of my diaper for this. I'm like shocked that leftists, blue state liberals, and progressives think it's okay for illegal immigrants to be in positions of power. I have to say like this. I have to say like this. Any arrest that was done by this illegal immigrant in Old Orchard Beach, Maine Police Department should be null and void immediately. Should be, if a lawyer found out in Maine that, say, their defendant got arrested by this supposedly police officer who now turns out to be an illegal immigrant, that lawyer should go up to the Maine Supreme Court and say that arrest should be null and void. He should walk free from county jail and state prison for it. I would bet you the lawyers will eat that police department to the 10th degree, to the point where they would have to close that police department. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Shit like this makes me go, how the fuck is this allowed in this country? Seriously. Seriously. The left thinks it's okay for illegal immigrants to be police officers, corrections officers, and firefighters. I'm gonna tell you what, if I ever get locked up in a county jail and some guard there is not a US citizen, I'm gonna give the free right to beat the shit out of him. And I'm gonna say like this: he's not a US citizen. He doesn't have a right to guard me. Get him out of the country. Yeah. And same thing, if I get pulled over by a police officer and finds out that police officer is an illegal immigrant who the left wanted to hire, I'm going to challenge that arrest in court and say, Your Honor, I don't think that officer is a United States citizen. I want Immigration and Customs Enforcement to do a background check to see if that is a U.S. citizen. If they're not a U.S. citizen, the arrest is null and void. Simple as that. People should start doing that. Because I'm telling you, man, shit like this makes me question how fucking stupid and effing retarded is the left in this country. How fucking stupid. Oh, wait, I can't say that because they'll take that as a challenge and do the most stupidest thing in the world. This is why I go like this. We gotta stop making stupid people famous. We gotta stop putting stupid people in positions of power or in political positions. We gotta stop. I mean, seriously, I know my generation growing up in the 80s and 90s, we didn't put stupid people in power. We knew better than that. But now in 2025, They'll put a Muslim socialist to run for mayor in New York City. Yeah. This is why, guys. This is why shit like this is why my blood pressure goes up every day. Shit like this is why I freaking want to just get away from stupid people, live somewhere in the middle of a forest, and be away from stupid idiots. I really do, guys. I really do. But for an illegal immigrant to be a police officer in the United States of America, I have to sit there and go like this. How? How can they allow this? How the fuck is that police department allowed to operate if they did this shit? Whoever the police chief is in Orchard Beach, Maine, should be fired immediately. Should have cleaned out the office, turned their badge and gun to the town council, and say, bye, gone, see you later. Yeah, they should. But for the life of me, guys, I never understand why they let stupid smart people be in positions of power. Never understand. Never. But then again, we do have our fair share of stupid smart people in this country, like what? AOC? Like what? Jasmine Crockett? Yeah? Like what? Pocahontas? Yeah? We have our fair share. I just say like this: we need to bring back birth control and limit the amount of stupid people being brought onto this planet. We really do, guys. We really do. But I'm glad that that gun store caught the illegal and brought it to the attention of the ATF. Because technically, illegal immigrants can't buy firearms because they're not a U.S. citizen and they're not allowed to possess and own firearms in the United States of America. But the left thinks that, oh, it's okay because they don't believe in borders and all that bullshit. But to me, guys, I just have to sit here and go like this. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking for real? I mean, for a town to hire this illegal immigrant, okay? This guy, and his name is John Luke Evans, to hire him as a police officer in Orchard Beach, Maine, makes you fucking wonder what else is going on up there. Who else are they hiring to be what? A police officer, a corrections officer, or a firefighter that's probably what? An illegal immigrant? Who knows, man? Who knows? But seriously, how the fuck does this is ever allowed? I think like this. This is because of blue state progressive Democrat policies. Because they all think like, oh, it's a human right for them to be here. Is nobody is illegal bullshit. But the fact that this guy overstayed his visa and got a job as a police officer, I just go like this, and I just like go in shock and go, how the fuck do they allow stupid people like this? How? I'm glad he got caught because I'm glad he's caught. I'm glad he is in the hands of ICE officers who is going to remove him. Thank God for that. But I'm glad that he got caught. Because if we didn't know about this, what else could go wrong in this country? What else could go wrong? Seriously, guys. Seriously. The fact of the matter is like this, guys. A lot of blue states are hammered for police officers because their policies are handcuffing them. They're not being able to do their job effectively, and they're not being able to enforce the law equally. That's why a lot of police officers are up and leaving to go to either the suburbs or the red states like Florida and Texas where they fucking enforce the law. Yeah. And then you wonder why blue states like Maine decided to hire what? An illegal immigrant as a police officer. Yeah. And then it makes you wonder, ladies and gentlemen, how the fuck does a town like Orchard Beach, Maine, allows a police department to hire an illegal immigrant? I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, Homeland Security should be investigating that police department immediately. The Department of Homeland Security should launch a criminal investigation into that town, into the police department, okay, to see how the fuck they allowed this and violate U.S. laws in hiring an illegal immigrant as a police officer. Seriously, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, seriously, seriously. But I have to wonder, guys. I have to wonder, how the fuck is this ever allowed? Seriously, guys. Seriously, man. To me, any police department or county sheriff, for that matter, unknowingly hires an illegal immigrant to be a police officer, a sheriff deputy, or a corrections officer, should have their funding revoked, should have their access to the federal government revoked, should be criminally investigated, and if it was found that the police chief or the sheriff or the Department of Corrections commissioner knowingly hired an illegal immigrant, they should all be thrown in federal prison immediately. They should all be thrown in the most remote federal prison that the Federal Bureau of Prisons has for these people. The fact that they're willing to violate U.S. law to hire illegal immigrants is astounding for me. It is basically like, you gotta be shitting me here. Moment. Yeah. It's why it's like this. It's why blue state policies like this keep showing up. And many times when the left says, "Oh no, that's a conspiracy, that's a conspiracy, that's a conspiracy," and then we show them the actual articles and the proof, they still go like this, la la. La. But then when reality hits them like a fucking freight train going 80 miles an hour, yeah, then they see the light and go, "Oh shit, yeah." But I'm telling you, man. If any public agency unknowingly hires an illegal immigrant, they should lose their federal access permanently. And on top of that, that whole department should be investigated if they criminally hired an illegal immigrant and flaunt U.S. federal law. They really should. They really should, guys. And I'm telling you, man, it nothing shocks me anymore. And this level of like, you gotta be shitting me it ranks up there, guys. It really does. It really does. Anyway, I want to talk about this article from Redux.info. Gay man who crowdfunded surrogacy journey with husband revealed as a child sex offender. Read you this, read you this first paragraph. A widely circulated video showcasing a gay couple's surrogacy journey has revealed that the baby boy is currently in the custody of a registered sex offender. The couple, Logan Riley and Brandon Mitchell, gained viral attention after posting a video introducing their newborn son. It has since emerged that Mitchell is a convicted pedophile. And this is now, how the fuck did they allow this shit? How the fuck did the state of Pennsylvania allowed a convicted pedophile to adopt a, a newborn boy through surrogacy? I sit there and I go like this. I sit there and go like this. How the fuck? But yet the left says, oh no, it's their right. It's their right. It's their right. But they ignore the pedophilia. They ignore the convicted sex offender, but think that it's their right to basically buy a baby from a like a desperate mother. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, and I've said this online, I am against surrogacy. I believe surrogacy should be outlawed, banned, and I'm also against gay and lesbian couples who are convicted sex offenders should be banned from adopting kids. I'm all for that, ladies and gentlemen. That is my standing policy there. I'm against surrogacy. I'm against gay adoptions if it turns out that you are a convicted felon, you are a convicted sex offender. I'm I'm outright against it. But the fact that this pedophile who is on the Pennsylvania State Police sex offender registry is allowed to have a baby boy through surrogacy, knowing that he's a convicted pedophile, I sit there and I'm going like this. How the fuck did the state of Pennsylvania allow this? How the fuck? The federal government needs to investigate this. Where are you on this, Dan Bongino? Cash Patel, Pam Bondi. Where the hell are you on this? Where the hell? And then I'll read you the second paragraph on this article. The video, which was initially shared by the couple on their own social media platform, was meant to offer a heartwarming glimpse into the first year of their newborn's life. However, it quickly drew scrutiny after being reposted on July 27 by an Irish right-wing activist and political figure, Derek Bly, on X. And I'll read you this one on this next paragraph. Unless a miracle happens, this child has almost no chance of a normal life, Bly wrote in the caption. A post that has since garnered over 1 million views. At the time, the couple's identities were not publicly known. Bly's post drew criticism and ridicule, particularly from advocates of same-sex adoption who dismissed his concerns as homophobic. And then I'll read you this. That is homophobic. If the child has two loving male parents, there's no evidence whatsoever that he or she will not prosper, replied Bev Jackson of Alliance LGB. In another response to Bly's comment, from user Louis Scott, whatever number it is, racked up over 200,000 likes and read, "Makes me happy that a baby's going to be raised not by hate and will be loved." Yeah. But then after, but but I'll read you this other one. But then just 24 hours after the video went viral, it has been confirmed that one of the men is a registered sex offender. And I'll read you this paragraph. Brandon Keith Mitchell is a tier 1 sex offender in the state of Pennsylvania has and was arrested in 2016 after attempting to solicit a 16-year-old boy for sexual abuse. The victim in the case was a student at Downingtown West High School where Mitchell had worked as a chemistry teacher. He was 30 years old at the time. Mm-hmm. So so in so this gay couple, all right, one of them is a convicted sex offender who was convicted of soliciting a 16-year-old boy to for sexual abuse, yet is allowed to adopt a baby boy through surrogacy? How the fuck is this ever allowed in this country? How the fuck, ladies and gentlemen? Seriously, seriously, seriously. Yeah. And then here's the funny part. Here's the funny part. Part of his conditions include that he have no unsupervised contact with minors, that he surrendered his teaching license, he quickly moved to obtain a job as a chemist at Eurofin's Biofarm Product Testing in Lancaster, where he has worked for 9 years. So basically, it's like this. You got a gay guy who was convicted of soliciting sex on a 16-year-old for sexual abuse. Part of his prison sentence and part of his sex offender registry is that he cannot have a minor unsupervised. But the left says, "Oh no, that's homophobia, that's hate, that's sexism, that's homophobia and all that bullshit." But then they fail to see around the fucking corner that he's a registered sex offender and a convicted pedophile, but's allowed to adopt a baby boy through surrogacy? Folks, I don't know what the hell is wrong with this world, but to me, anybody who's convicted of a sex crime should automatically have a prison sentence of a mandatory minimum of 15 to life. That means they automatically have a prison sentence of 15 years, but if they don't get parole, they automatically are in prison for the rest of their life. That is that simple. But the fact that they allowed this guy to have a kid? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you shitting me? Telling you, man. Telling you. This is why I am dead set against surrogacy. And I'll read you this article from the Blaze Media. Homosexual who fundraised to get a baby boy through surrogacy exposed as a pedophile. Critics who raised concern about Brandon Mitchell were quickly vindicated after his conviction was brought to light. Logan Riley and Keith Mitchell of Seven Valleys, Pennsylvania, made a big show of their efforts to secure custody of a baby boy through surrogacy. Although they apparently started the process in 2019, the homosexual couple began hitting up strangers for cash in 2020 on their GoFundMe to help expand their family by using gestational surrogate. And then I'll read you this article. A November 3rd, 2023 update on their now deleted fundraising page says, since our last post, we successfully created 4 embryos through egg donor program in 2020. After 3 long years of searching for a family friend, reached out early in 2023 to see if we were still looking. After a couple of conversations, a great connection with her family, we decided to proceed. The couple recently shared their confirmation video on social media featuring them repeatedly kissing a baby boy reportedly in their custody. The video, and then here's the comment. Here's the other thing. The video was subsequently reshared on X by critics concerned about the baby boy's well-being, as, as well as about the homosexual adoption in general. Despite accusations of bigotry, it turns out the critics were right to worry, as the boy is now allegedly in the custody of a registered sex offender. Yeah. So so let me get this straight. Uh, the left thinks it's okay for gay couples to adopt or to have a kid through surrogacy, through a single mother who's desperate for cash. But they don't fail to see that some of these so-called gay couples are convicted sex offenders and convicted pedophiles who should not be allowed near kids unsupervised. Do the left not see this problem here? Do the left not see this problem, or do they have blinders and only see that, oh, that baby's going to be in a loving gay family, that baby's going to learn not to hate, but then find out that one of them is a gay pedophile who was convicted of soliciting sex and sexual abuse on a 16-year-old? Do they not say this shit? Seriously. Seriously, in this article here too, from Post Millennial, revealed gay man who brought baby via surrogate is a child sex offender in Pennsylvania. Okay, read you this paragraph. A man depicted in a video showcasing gay couple surrogacy journey has been revealed to be a registered child sex offender. Logan Riley and Brandon Mitchell were seen in the video holding their babies celebrating their child's first month of life. The video initially went viral on social media after Irish right-wing activist and political figure Derek Bly posted it on X, where the identities of the couple were not publicly known. Bly wrote at the time, unless a miracle happens, this child has almost no chance of a normal life, which was met by criticism. Yeah. And then I'll read you this paragraph. Just a day later, Anna Slats for Redux revealed that one of the men in the video, Brandon Keith Mitchell, is a tier 1 sex offender in Pennsylvania. And in 2016, Mitchell was arrested after attempting to solicit a 16-year-old boy who was a student at Downingtown West High School for sexual abuse. Mitchell, then 30, worked at the school as a chemistry teacher. And then here's the kicker. Authorities said that Mitchell had asked the boy to send him nude pictures and told the victim that he wanted to watch him masturbate. Mitchell sent the victim 20 nude photos of himself. And then here's the other paragraph. A search warrant executed on Mitchell's electronic devices and phone records revealed that he had exchanged over 12,000 text messages with the victim. So the fact of the matter, so the fact that this guy wanted solicited sex to a 16-year-old kid for sexual abuse in Pennsylvania, but is allowed to adopt a baby boy by surrogacy? Are you kidding me? I'm gonna say like this, guys. We need a better background check on this shit. We need a better background check. We really do, guys. We really do. It seems like this that gay couples and pedophiles and groomers are now going through surrogacy to get a kid so they can sexually abuse. This is why I am all for banning surrogacy. This is why I am all for banning gay couples from having kids unless they pass a strict background check. That means if you're a convicted sex offender, a convicted pedophile, a convicted groomer, not only should you be banned from working near kids, but you should also be banned from adopting kids via adoption or via surrogacy. And this article from the Federalist, I totally agree with. Rising popularity of rent-a-room industry emboldens pedophiles to buy proximity to kids. I'll read you the headline. Since the rent-a-room industry is expected to continue growing at a rapid rate, it's only logical to conclude that the heart-wrenching case like that of this boy will only continue. Read you the paragraph. Surrogacy is a problematic for a whole host of reasons. It makes procreation and pregnancy transactional, creates morally and ethically irrehensible conundrums, hurts women and babies, has strong overlap with human trafficking, and reeks of corruption. And here's this paragraph that I agree with wholeheartedly. Arguably, the most alarming consequence that comes from the increasing popular practice of renting rooms, however, is that surrogacy can easily be exploited by pedophiles, abusers to gain proximity to kids. Yeah, to me, to me, surrogacy should be banned in law. Because if that gives pedophiles and groomers and abusers access to kids to sexually abuse and sexually mutilate, that should be banned. That should be outlawed. I would support any political candidate who writes a bill that outlaws surrogacy, that makes it a crime for any sex offender, pedophile, groomer that attempts to adopt a kid via surrogacy. And I would also support politicians who mandate 15 to life prison sentences for sex offenders. No, no 23 months in jail bullshit. That means automatic. You get convicted of a sex crime, you automatically get a prison sentence of 15 to life. That means no appeal, no reducing prison sentence, automatic 15 to life. That's it. Goodbye. We'll see you all in 15 years in prison. Automatic. That means they have to do the mandatory 15 years before they are even allowed to talk to the parole board. It's that simple. It's that it's that simple. But the fact that they want to do this shocks me. That states like Pennsylvania, which has become a surrogacy friendly state, does not do background checks on their couples. But yet they want to do a background check on me owning a gun is astoundingly stupid. I say this: if I'm forced to do a background check to buy a AR-15, a pistol, or M1A Scout Squad, then there should be a mandatory background check on any couple wanting to adopt a kid, and that includes a sex offender registry background check. And if it turns out that you're a convicted sex offender, whether you're straight or gay, you're automatically banned from adopting the kid. I don't care what your sob story is. I don't care what sob left this story that you cry to the fucking legacy media. I don't give a fucking shit. But the fact that a Democrat state like Pennsylvania allowed a tier one convicted pedophile to adopt a kid, that kid should be removed from the family immediately. That kid should be removed. And that convicted pedophile should be returned to prison immediately. Yeah, that pedophile should be removed, okay, from society. And that kid, that newborn kid, should be returned to their mother. And let the mother take care of the kid. And tell say to that pedophile, you will not have access to that kid for the rest of your life. You will not legally be allowed. And if we find out you're trying, you'll be thrown in prison. It's that fucking simple. It is. But for the fucking life of me, how they fucking allow that shit makes me mad. Makes me want to go, you are fucking insane to allow this. But yet the left sits there and go, oh, it's homophobia. You people are homophobic and all this shit. But then when you drag the evidence that this dude is a convicted pedophile and is not allowed to be near kids unsupervised, this is where the left is mentally insane. This is where the left is off its fucking rocker. This pretty much is, guys. Pretty much is. But the way I see it, guys, the left knows no bounds. The left knows no bounds. They don't. They don't. And I'm telling you, sooner or later, people are gonna wake up and they're gonna fucking realize this shit is morally wrong. This shit is morally irreprehensible. The fact that the state of Pennsylvania allows a tier one convicted sex offender to adopt a child through surrogacy and is a convicted pedophile who solicited sex to a 16-year-old boy. We live in the most idiotic judicial system in this country. We really do. But the life for me is how they allow this. I have to say like this. I have questions. And I like to do the Chris Hansen thing. Sit down there, dude. I have a bunch of questions to ask of you. I have serious questions here. Serious ones that we have to discuss. But seriously, how does Pennsylvania allow this? But then the left says, oh no, they're a gay loving couple. But then finds out one of their gay couples is a convicted pedophile? And you wonder why we're all up in arms about pedophilia, grooming, in like children in school and in society. And you wonder why this has become an issue in this country? And you wonder why? Just putting it out there, ladies and gentlemen. Just putting it out there for y'all. And then, by the way, guys, any article I talk about, guys, will be linked in the description below because, like every other podcaster, I cite my articles where I talk about. So at least you get the idea where I'm coming from and what articles that I'm using to talk about. You get the idea, guys. So that way you're more informed as I am, guys. Okay, you're really informed. But the life of me, guys, how the hell is this allowed in this country? How the hell did they allow this? Okay. Anyway, I got one last article to talk about before we go, and this is what happened in Manhattan, New York, yesterday about that shooting. Okay, from the New York Daily News, Trump hails NYPD after midtown shooting. Democrats blame lax gun laws. Here's the funny kicker in all this, guys. Democrats always say they have the strictest gun laws in this country, but they seem to be a haven for mass shootings in this country. But yet, they love to tout to their leftist liberal friends that, oh, we have the strictest gun laws in this country. Oh, we have gun laws that make it impossible for people to own a gun. But this mass shooter who is mentally unwell was allowed to get an AR-15 from Las Vegas, drive all the way to New York, and commit a mass shooting crime in a liberal blue city and state that have the strictest gun laws in the country, but yet the left says, "Oh no, it's because they have lax gun laws." Okay, so which lax gun laws are we talking about, left? Is it the one from Las Vegas, Nevada, or the fact that in New York that you make it hard for law-abiding citizens to own a gun and defend themselves, but yet you're okay with criminals and the mentally ill to own it? I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys, but the left seems to be mentally unhinged, ladies and gentlemen. The left seems to be like trying to blame the gun or trying to blame the lax law, but when in reality, blue states that have very strict gun laws are more likely states that have mass shootings, have horrific crime rates, but yet handcuff law abiding citizens from owning a gun and from defending themselves. Mind you guys, this is the state of New York and the city of New York where they make it impossible to own a gun, and then they basically mutilated an AR-15, make it so unrecognizable that people don't even want to buy the shit. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how the left thinks that, oh no, it's about the gun laws. No, it's about the fact that you have the strictest gun laws, but you handcuff the law abiding citizen from defending themselves, but you let criminals and the mentally ill to own a gun and commit the crime in your blue city and state. Here's this article from the red state. Hot take. The usual suspects to cry NYPD shooting, but in a gun restricted NY, their cries ring hollow. How true it is, guys. Read you the headline. As my colleague Rusty West reported, Senator John Kennedy, a Republican in Louisiana, predicted the response to the news of Monday's tragic mass shooting in New York, which left 5 dead, including an NY police officer. Okay, read you the quote. On the Capitol Hill, probably beginning in the morning, there'll be inevitable call for some of my colleagues for more gun control laws, Kennedy envisioned. We've got hundreds of gun control laws, Sean, maybe thousands. We don't need any more gun control. We need more idiot control. And I don't know exactly how to do that, he laminated. Neither do we, Senator. And I like this paragraph. Neither do we, Senator. Right now, the idiots that need to be controlled are the ones who can't seem to get the concept through their thick skulls. And I like this. Like Pavlov's dog, they heard mass shooting and AR-15. They salivated. From the moment forward, it's been idiots on parade. Texas State Senator Ron Gutierrez gave new credence to the need for intelligence tests for those seeking elective offices. Mm-hmm. And I like this. Unlike Texas, New York has some of the most restrictive gun laws on the books. They even jailed New York citizen Dexter Taylor for building his own gun as a hobby at home as a hobby. Yeah, funny how the left says, oh, we need more gun laws. Oh, the shooter's white. Has an AR-15. We need to restrict it further. In blue states, they restrict it so hard that you can't even you that the paperwork to get an AR-15 is like the size of a file cabinet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I like this paragraph. But what can you do for somebody like reported shooter Shane Tamara who doesn't care about your gun laws and choose not to follow them? The AR-15 rifle Tamara used to carry out his horrible murder is illegal in New York City and the entire state. It has been since former Governor Andrew Cuomo signed the SAFE Act law in 2013, but apparently Tamara didn't bother to get the memo or care to read it. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is, the left says, oh no, we need to restrict the AR-15. Yeah, some states like Connecticut, you can't even get an AR-15 with 10 rounds. They make it next to impossible for you to get one. Yeah, but yet they handcuff law abiding citizens who want to defend themselves, but they restrict them so badly that Democrats rather prefer you be a dead victim than a victor. Pretty much. Pretty much. But I tell you what, the left who keeps hollering for gun control and restricting the AR-15, go try that in Chicago first. Tell me how that works out. Tell me how that works out. Tell me how gun control works out in Chicago when murders are happening almost like what? About every hour? But, I'm going to just say it like this. Every time there's a mass shooting, the left always cries for gun control, restricting the AR-15, making it harder for you to defend yourself. You want to know what prevents mass shootings? A law-abiding citizen and a law-abiding gun owner. It's that simple. That's why it's like this. That's why I like this. In the old days of this country, people open carried their guns because that prevented people from doing the most horrific mass shootings. Because everybody knew everybody carried a damn gun. Yeah, everybody's mother carried a gun, pretty much. But the fact that the left thinks that more gun control is needed when we need more idiot control, when we need to stop making gun law after gun law after gun law after gun law, when instead that we should be basically enforcing the law and saying that if you're mentally ill or if you're a convicted felon, you're banned from owning a gun, and if you're caught possessing a gun, you automatically go to prison. Simple as that. Simple as that. We could have prevented more mass shootings that way. We could have. We could have. But you know what? Blue state progressive Democrats like those in New York City and New York State are going to continue to shoot themselves in the foot by saying, oh, we need gun control. We need more gun laws and it is. But no, you don't. You need more. You need more crackdown on the mentally ill, and you need to make it a crime for the mentally ill and convicted felon from owning a gun. It's that simple. But the left is retarded, and they will always jump the bandwagon of gun control, gun control, gun control. But then they don't realize we need more idiot control, idiot control, idiot control. That's all we need. We need to control the idiots and prevent the idiots from getting guns. That's what we need. That's what we need in this country. We need to make it harder for idiots to get guns. Never mind gun control. Gun control only makes it harder for law-abiding citizens who follow the law, okay, who follow regulations from doing their constitutional duty. Yeah, it's that simple. It is. It really is simple. Wow. Wow. That was a good long show for y'all. I'm telling you, man, that was a good long show for you guys, man. I hope you all enjoyed this episode as much as I do, guys. I hope you all enjoy it, and I thank you guys for listening to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. I will see y'all soon. Bye for now. You just listened to an episode of Nikki's World. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.